Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nazrin Nazhan bin Mohd Nasir. I am from JBA 2495A, and now I would like to present my individual assignment 2 regarding the evaluation on mobile application of Google Classroom. Okay. First and foremost, what is Google Classroom? Google Classroom is a free web service developed by Google for schools that aims to simplify creating, distributing, and grading assignments. Google Classroom was announced on May 6, 2014, with a preview available for some members of Google's G Suite for Education program and was released publicly on August 12, 2014. Google Classroom integrates Docs, Sheets, Slides, Gmail, and also Calendar into a cohesive platform to manage student and teacher communication. The primary purpose of Google Classroom, or we can also known as GC, is to streamline the process of sharing files between teachers and students. Regarding on this individual assignment, a survey has been conducted to evaluate the Google Classroom application. In this survey, there were 41 respondents recorded that filled in the survey. The survey consists of 3 parts. For the first part is respondent background, part B, perceived user satisfaction, and part C is comment or suggestion. Okay, now we go to the part A, which is respondent background. In this part, I have been collect a little bit of detail about the respondent background, such as age, gender, marital status, and employment status. First is age. This slide shows the age that fill in this form. Based on the graph, it is shown that majority age of the respondent is aged between 18 until 24 with the 92.7% percentage. Next, it goes to the age between 12 until 27 with the percentage of 4.9%, and lastly, it goes to the age between 25 until 39 with the percentage of 2.4%. Okay, next we go to the gender. Based on this graph, it shows that female is higher than male that fill up this form. There are 27 females with the percentage of 65.9%, while 14 male with the percentage of 34.1% that answer the survey. Okay, in this slide it shows the data that has been converted to graph on the marital status of the respondent. Based on the graph, it shows that all 41 respondents with the percentage of 100% is single, and it is recorded that no one who has married answered to the survey. And lastly, detail that I collect is about employment status. Based on the data or graph that I received, it shows that student is the only respondent that answered to the survey. There is no employed or unemployed respondent recorded that answer to the survey. Okay, now we go to the part B, which is perceived user satisfaction. In this part, there were several questions that being asked to evaluate the user satisfaction on using this Google Classroom application. Okay. First question is, do you know about Google Classroom application? Based on the graph, it is shown that 27 respondents strongly agree, 11 respondents agree, 2 are moderate, and 1 disagree about the question. This concludes that this app is well known among the respondents, which is students. Okay, next, this app is easy to use. Based on the graph, it is shown that 24 respondents strongly agree, 15 respondents agree, and 2 disagree about this question. This concludes that Google Classroom is easy to use based on the majority. Okay, for the third question, these apps give a lot of benefits. The data that I received on this question is shown in this graph. Based on the graph, it is shown that 23 respondents represent 56.1% strongly agree, 15 respondents agree, 1 are moderate, and 2 disagree about this question. This concludes that Google Classroom gives a lot of benefits to students. And next is about these apps helps me to organize my study session. Based on the data that I received, it is shown that 20 respondents strongly agree, 14 respondents agree, 5 are moderate, and 1 disagree about this question. This concludes that these apps help organize the respondent study session. Okay, next is about this application helps me in remembering the assignment that need to be submitted. Okay, from the data that I received, it is shown that 21 respondents strongly agree, 15 respondents agree, 4 are moderate, and 1 disagree about the question. This concludes that these apps help students in remembering assignments that need to be submitted in the future. Okay, then we go to the next question, which is these apps consume a lot of internet or Wi-Fi or data. Based on the data that I received, it is shown that 5 respondents strongly agree, 16 respondents agree, 13 are moderate, 7 disagree, and 1 respondent strongly disagree about this question. The graph shows that majority respondents state that these apps using a lot of data. Okay, then we go to the next question, which is these apps always crash whenever I open it. Okay. Based on the graph in this slide, it is shown that 3 respondents strongly agree, 4 respondents agree, 7 are moderate, 21 disagree, and 6 strongly disagree about the question. This concludes that not many students face on the crash problem using these apps. Okay. Next, the recent update for this app is really nice. Okay. Based on the graph in this slide, it is shown that 16 respondents strongly agree, 16 respondents agree, 6 are moderate, and 3 disagree about the recent update for these apps. Based on the same number between strongly agree and agree, which is 16, it shows that the recent update for this app is nice to the student. Okay, and lastly, the question that I asked is overall, this app is satisfied to use. Okay, based on the data that I received on this graph, it is shown that 23 respondents strongly agree, 16 respondents agree, 1 are moderate, and 1 disagree about their satisfied on using this Google Classroom application. Based on the majority, it concludes that respondents are satisfied using these apps. Now, we go to the part C, which is comment or suggestion. In this part, I was asked the respondent to feel free to comment or give suggestion about this Google Classroom application. Okay, for the problem or issue regarding the classroom, there are 4 issues or problem on using these apps. For the first one is it is difficult to make a discussion, and second, it is a bit slow to upload the assignments or anything else, and third, microphone is not function, and last, it cannot enter in a bunch of people as it cannot exceed 200 and above of people. Next, I ask about any suggestion to improve Google Classroom to the respondent. I have gained many suggestions on how to improve the Google Classroom. Okay, based on this slide, this is the idea from the respondent. Google Classroom has to innovate the ways the student want to submit their tasks. Okay, the first one. And next, include dark theme on Google Classroom so it will be healthier to face it, especially online. Then, need to simplify the layout and upgrade for better filter. Okay, then make the interface more interesting. Next, add features to adjust fonts, underline or change color in the form. And then improve more setting in task app, like make a various background, making improvements such as put a plagiarism checker in this app. And lastly, it should have a specific box for specific materials to differ between notes and assignment, so it is easier to look. Google Classroom can be found in website and also mobile apps. So, what is the difference Google Classroom application or mobile apps and also website? Okay, for the first one, it is theme. As we can see here, website is more simple and we can see the face of the lecturer in this class, while in the mobile version we can see that it is quite nice but like a little bit crowded and there is no faces of the lecturer. Okay, next is the upcoming assignment box. As we can see here in the website, there is upcoming box that must to be submit, assignment that has to be submit in the future. Well, in this mobile application, there is no the specific box for the assignment that need to be submit. Okay, last is about move button. Okay, in this website, we can see there is move button. Okay, for mobile, it doesn't have. This move button can move the class to be the first, or we can move the class that we have not attended, such as previous class in the previous sem, to the other side. Okay, for my conclusion, Google Classroom is one of the online study platform that commonly used among teacher and students. Google Classroom has been playing their role especially during COVID-19. There is no big difference of the application on website or mobile version. Google Classroom has evolved from year to year by updating new material in the platform. Okay, based on the survey conducted, students are satisfied with the Google Classroom application. Okay, based of the conclusion, I think that's all from me. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.